Hey there, fellow Americans. You know that feeling when unexpected good news hits you like a bolt of lightning? Well, hold on to your seats because what I'm about to share could be life-changing for millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet. Just hours ago, breaking news emerged from the White House that sending shockwaves through the nation. A potential new $2,000 stimulus check is on the horizon, and this time, it's not just talk. The president has officially announced support for a fourth round of direct payments, and here's the kicker: Social Security recipients are specifically included in this plan. But before you start planning how to spend this money, there's something crucial you need to know about the eligibility requirements and timeline that could affect whether you'll receive this payment. The details I'm about to reveal might surprise you, especially considering how different this round of stimulus is from previous payments. But hey, before we dive deep into these game-changing details, take a quick second to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's get straight to what matters most: the basics of this new stimulus proposal. The president's announcement came during a crucial economic briefing where he outlined the necessity for additional direct support to American families. The proposed $2,000 payment would be the largest single direct payment since the pandemic-era stimulus checks, and unlike previous rounds, this one comes with some unique stipulations that could actually work in favor of many who were left out of earlier payments. What makes this fourth stimulus check different is its targeted approach. While previous payments had strict income thresholds, this new proposal takes into account the rising cost of living and inflation's impact on different demographic groups. Social Security beneficiaries, including those receiving SSI and SSDI, are specifically mentioned as priority recipients, a detail that's particularly significant given the challenges many seniors and disabled Americans have faced with rising healthcare and daily living costs. Now, you might be wondering about the timing and likelihood of this actually happening. Here's where things get interesting. Unlike previous stimulus proposals that faced significant legislative hurdles, this one has garnered surprising bipartisan support. Several key Republican senators have already signaled their willingness to negotiate, primarily due to the proposal's focus on helping Social Security recipients and working families who've been hit hardest by inflation. The proposed timeline for these payments is more aggressive than you might expect. According to White House sources, the administration is pushing for an expedited approval process, with the goal of getting payments out to Americans within weeks of legislative passage. But here's something you need to know: the distribution method could be different this time around. The IRS and Treasury Department have apparently developed a new, more efficient system for delivering these payments, potentially meaning faster access to funds for most eligible recipients. Let's talk numbers for a moment. While the headline figure is $2,000, there's actually more to the story. The payment structure includes potential additional amounts for dependents, and here's something that hasn't been widely reported yet: there's a special supplemental amount being considered for Social Security beneficiaries who rely solely on their benefits for income. This could mean some recipients might receive more than the base $2,000 amount. You're probably wondering about eligibility requirements. The income thresholds are being set at $75,000 for single filers and $150,000 for joint filers, similar to previous stimulus payments. However, there's a new twist: the phase-out rate is more gradual this time, meaning more middle-class families might qualify for at least partial payments. For Social Security recipients, the news is particularly good: your benefits won't count toward the income threshold for this stimulus payment. But here's where things get really interesting, and this is something you won't hear much about in mainstream news coverage. The proposal includes a unique provision for rapid payment processing for certain groups. If you're already in the Social Security system or have received previous stimulus payments through direct deposit, you might be among the first to receive this new payment. The government has learned from previous rollouts and has streamlined the process significantly. Speaking of learning from the past, let's address some concerns that many of you might have. Remember the issues with previous stimulus payments? The missing checks, the confusion about eligibility, the long wait times. The administration has apparently taken those lessons to heart. They've developed a new online portal specifically for tracking and claiming these payments, making the process more transparent and accessible than ever before. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the economy as a whole. Economic experts are divided on the potential impact of another round of stimulus payments. Some argue it could fuel inflation, while others point to the targeted nature of this payment as a way to help those most in need without significantly impacting overall inflation rates. The truth likely lies somewhere in between, but here's what's most important for families struggling with rising costs: this payment could provide crucial relief. One aspect that's particularly noteworthy is the timing of this announcement. With the holiday season approaching and economic pressures mounting for many families, the administration seems to be pushing for quick action. But here's something to keep in mind: while the proposal has strong support, it still needs to clear several legislative hurdles. That's why it's crucial to stay informed about developments in the coming weeks. Let's discuss the role of Social Security in this stimulus package because it's a game changer for many recipients. The administration has specifically highlighted how this payment would complement, not replace, any scheduled Social Security cost of living adjustments. This means that Social Security recipients could potentially see both their regular COLA increase and this stimulus payment, providing a significant boost to their financial security. Here's something interesting that many people haven't considered: the potential long-term implications of this stimulus package. Unlike previous payments that were primarily focused on immediate relief, this proposal includes elements aimed at creating longer-term financial stability for recipients. There's talk of coupling the direct payments with expanded tax credits and other support programs, though these details are still being finalized. For those wondering about the application process, early indications suggest it will be largely automatic for most eligible recipients. If you've received previous stimulus payments or are currently receiving Social Security benefits, you likely won't need to take any action. However, there will be a claims process for those who need to update their information or haven't received previous payments. The impact on different demographic groups is worth noting. While the payment is universal for those who meet the income requirements, it could have varying effects depending on your situation. For families with children, the payment could help offset rising childcare costs. For seniors on fixed incomes, it could provide a buffer against increasing healthcare expenses. For working adults, it might offer an opportunity to pay down debt or build emergency savings. One particularly interesting aspect of this proposal is its potential effect on local economies. Previous stimulus payments showed that when people receive direct assistance, much of it gets spent in local businesses. This multiplier effect could provide a boost to communities still recovering from economic challenges. Some economists suggest this local economic impact could be even more significant this time, given the targeted nature of the payments. Let's talk about timing expectations. While the administration is pushing for quick action, it's important to be realistic about the legislative process. Best estimates suggest that if approved, payments could start rolling out within 2-3 weeks of the bill's passage. However, the total distribution period could extend over several weeks or even months, depending on various factors including payment method and any processing issues that arise. The proposal also includes some interesting provisions for preventing fraud and ensuring payments reach their intended recipients. Learning from previous stimulus rounds, new security measures have been implemented to prevent scams and unauthorized claims. This is particularly important for protecting vulnerable populations like seniors from potential fraud attempts. Another aspect worth mentioning is the international context. The United States would be one of the few major economies to implement another round of direct payments at this scale. This has led to interesting discussions about the global economic implications and whether other countries might follow suit with similar programs. As we near the end of this discussion, let's address some common questions that many of you probably have. What if you've moved since your last stimulus payment? What if you've had changes in your income or family situation? The good news is that the proposal includes provisions for updating your information and ensuring you receive the payment you're entitled to. This brings us to an important point about preparation. While we wait for final approval and implementation, there are steps you can take to ensure you're ready to receive your payment as quickly as possible. Making sure your direct deposit information is up to date with the IRS or Social Security Administration could help speed up your payment process. In closing, While this stimulus proposal represents a significant opportunity for many Americans, it's important to stay informed about developments as they unfold. The situation is fluid, and details could change as the proposal moves through the legislative process. That's why I'll be keeping a close eye on any updates and bringing them to you as soon as they're available. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this new stimulus proposal. How would a $2,000 payment impact your family? Do you think the focus on Social Security recipients is the right approach? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates on stimulus payments, Social Security benefits, and other important financial news that affects you and your family. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.